Hey guys, what's up? It's Stephanie, and today I'm here with a video. In this video today, I wanted to talk about how a lot of us, God's chosen people, get in the way, basically just get in God's way. Um, we all know once you come into God's kingdom and you're called by God and you're chosen by God, it doesn't end there. You feel me? God is basically going to raise us up and continue to grow us for his kingdom and continue to use us for his kingdom. God basically has a plan that we need to execute for our lives. But a lot of the times we have our own desires and we allow our emotions, or even we get deceived by Satan and we get in the way from allowing God to do what he wants to do in our lives. We get in the way from allowing God to raise us up and to build us in the way that he is trying to build us. And even if you look in the Bible, there's so many stories where this happened. If you look at someone like Samson, he was into Delilah. Him sleeping with Delilah and just being wrapped up into her got in the way from God's plans for his life. Even if you look at someone like Saul let his own emotions, he became jealous of David. He let his own emotions get in the way from basically allowing God to build him up and to use him. There's so many different people that we can see this in the Bible with. And this continues to happen even to this day. Like a lot of us, we get into our emotions. We may be going through a period of time where God is trying to strengthen and he's trying to build us, and we run. We run away from God's discipline, or we run away from God's plan, or we run away from God's calling because sometimes we're scared, or sometimes we're hurting, or sometimes we're tired, or sometimes we're just deceived by Satan into thinking that there's better out there, or that maybe this isn't the path that you should be taking, and we get into God's way from allowing him to basically just build us up. And I just wanted to do this video today, and I really just wanted to encourage you guys to allow God to do what he is doing in your life. Don't let your emotions, don't let anything or anyone, don't let anyone get in the way from you allowing God to do what he wants to do in your life. Because let me tell you something, when we start to do our own thing and when we get in the way from allowing God to do what he's trying to do in our lives, he's going to step back. He's going to step back and he's going to allow you to go down the path that you want to go. God is not going to push himself on you. He's not going to make you do anything. You have free will. That's why we have to allow God to enter into our lives. We have to allow God to use us. We have to allow God to help build us and to grow us and to nurture us into the person that he ordained for us to be. He's not going to force you to do anything. So he's going to step back and he's going to allow you to go down that track that you want to go. But here's the thing. We already know off rep that God's way is the best way for us. It doesn't matter how much we're hurting. It doesn't matter how hard it is. It doesn't matter if we're in an environment that is draining to us or even stressful to us. God is using that environment to build you up. God is using that person that's in your life right now. God may be using your parents who may be getting on your last nerves and you're still living with them. He may be using them to help strengthen you and to build you up, to teach you patience, to teach you tolerance, to teach you how to deal with difficult people. He may be using that environment that you're in or those people that you're around to help build you up for his glory and for his purpose in the future. You may not even see it now. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you look at someone like Joseph, Joseph went through a really, really, really long and rough patch in his life where he was a slave. He was a slave to the Egyptians. He was basically a slave. And he went through it. And at the end of the day, God used his situation to help build him up. God used his situation and turned it around so that he could be a blessing to his family when his family was going through a time of drought where there was no food or anything for them to basically eat. Joseph was there and he was used by God to basically help his family way down the future. He didn't see it at that time when he was in that prison. He didn't see it at that time when his brothers sold him away to be a slave. He didn't see it at that time where he was building all those huge buildings and structures that they had them building at that time. He didn't see it. But it was a rough patch in his life. And guess what? He could have ran away. He could have ran away. He could have done his own thing. He could have basically done his own thing and ran away from what God was doing in his life, but he stayed and he allowed God to basically get him through that rough time in his life and build him up. And this is what God is calling each and every one of us to do, you guys. We can't run away from what God is trying to do from us. I mean, we can, but it's not going to get you anywhere. You're not going to get anywhere. And here's the thing. You're only going to end up running back to God. And then you took 1,000 steps backwards, and God is going to have to do damage control to basically everything that you did. All the stuff that you did, you running back to the world and trying to be worldly, you're going to basically have to relearn the things that God was trying to teach you anyway. So you might as well just endure and go through the rough times that basically God may be bringing you through. I know basically walking with God is not easy, you guys. Like, we're going to be real. I'm going to be real. And let's be real. Walking with God is not easy. It's hard. It gets difficult. It's a blessing. It's amazing because you really do grow and you really do prosper when you look at where you are now and compare it to where you were before. Even if you look at your state and you compare it to other people that may be around you, if you're looking at the big picture, you'll be able to see how blessed you truly are. But at the end of the day, walking with God is not easy. We're going to be asked to do things that we don't want to do, that we really, really, really don't want to do. Like, really, you don't want to do it. I've been in those situations. There have been things that I had to do that I really didn't want to do at all. You may have to go places that you don't want to go. We can't see the big picture all the time. Like, we can't see everything that God is mapping out for our lives all the time. He doesn't allow us to see it all the time. We're supposed to step out on faith and show God that we trust his plans for our lives. So I really just wanted to do this short video, you guys. And I just wanted to encourage you guys to basically stick through it. Stick through it, because at the end of the day, God is he only intends the best for you. He only wants the best for you and for your life. He's trying to build you and he's trying to grow you. Don't run away from growth. And don't run away from God's plans. Definitely don't run away from God's plans. You're basically, run away from God's plans is like asking for death. Run away from God's plans is like asking to be cursed. Running away from God's plan is like asking to not be used by him. Running away from God's plans is like running into Satan's hands. It's not worth it. We might as well just go through the rough times, go through the trials, go through the tribulations, allow God to build us up so that he can use us in the future. And even now, we may not see it. He could be using you now and you don't even know it. He could be using you to reach your parents. He could be using you to reach your family. He could be using you to reach your friends, and you don't even know it. We can't get caught up in our emotions, and that's why I said we can't be a slave to our emotions, because it's not going to get us anywhere. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. I just really wanted to do this short video to encourage you guys to stick through it. No matter how hard it is, no matter how stressful it can get, no matter how strenuous, no matter how difficult it feels, go through those rough times and allow God to basically do what he wants to do to you. Completely surrender to God and allow him to build you up and mold you and continue to work on you for his glory. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. It's Stephanie, and be blessed.